Hello everybody, my name is Tomasz and welcome back to our channel. Today's subject will be a heel turn. So we will talk about what is a heel turn, how to do it correctly, and discuss the common mistakes. Enjoy! Let's start with what is a heel turn. It is a turn that happens on your heel. Now most of the turns we have in ballroom dancing happen on the ball of the foot. Whether we go in natural turn, we swivel on the foot. But sometimes we do have to turn on our heel. And if the heel is an axis of the turn, we turn around it. The first thing we have to discuss when we talk about executing a correct heel turn is our pitch of weight. Now, what is our pitch of weight? Is the relation between our vertical weight drop and our foot. So, for example, I can have an excellent posture, very good body line, and have it pitched on my ball of the foot. I can have it pitched in the middle of my foot, and I can have it pitched on my heel. Now, notice that in all of those cases, I don't adjust the alignment of the spine. I simply adjust the position of the vertical weight drop towards my foot. If you want to watch a full explanation of a pitch of weight, we made another video about it, so it will be in the description below. Now, in the heel turn, our pitch of weight must arrive on our heel before we actually start turning on the heel. So, if we want to execute correct heel turn, my pitch of weight has to be over my heel. If my pitch of weight is on the ball of the foot, I simply won't be able to turn on my heels. The simplest exercise to check whether your pitch of weight is on the heel is to try to lift your toes. If you can lift your toes without any adjustment within your upper body, it means you're successfully pitched over your heel. If you have to adjust in order to lift your toes, or you simply cannot lift your toes, it means you're still not over the heel, even though you might feel you are. Because remember, it's physical weight over your ball of the foot, middle of the foot, and heel. Of course, achieving a static weight over your heel is very easy because you just position yourself there. It's a completely different matter when you have to achieve it dynamically from a step. So remember, when doing that dynamically, we usually have to make some steps, figures, arrive to that heel without stopping, do the heel turn, and exit again without stopping, which we will talk about in a second. But it's very important to understand that we have to be aware of where our pitch of weight dynamically, which means we go through it and exit. So now, let's start with a very simple exercise when we will do the driving step and arrive in the end of the driving step with our weight pitched over our heel. So now, I will be starting with my right foot backward. It doesn't have to be the biggest step in the world. For now, let's just take it easy. So now, with the right foot backward, I will do the driving step, try to arrive straight on the heel, and the test is, can I lift my toes without adjusting my upper part, right? Now, I will show it once wrongly. So now, if I do the driving step, I fell. So I moved my pitch of weight so far behind that it actually fell behind my heel. And that is called lack of balance. In that case, you either have to make a bigger step or slow down the speed. Now, the second biggest mistake is when we simply don't arrive on the heel at all and we keep our pitch of weight over the ball of the foot. So same situation, I'm going with my right foot backward, and now I will arrive only on my toe. So notice I cannot lift it back. My vertical weight drop is over my ball of the foot. And now when I'm trying to turn on the heel, it won't happen because my weight is not there. Or I will try to do something like that. And many times when we execute a bad heel turn, there's nothing wrong with our actual heel turn. It's just the problem with the pitch of weight before the heel turn. In other words, we have to set it up correctly in order to proceed nicely with the heel turn. Before we get to an actual heel turn, let's first discuss the weight change exercise that you can very easily practice in order to get your heel turn better. I'll be showing it sideways so you see it better. So again, let's agree now that I'm going with the right foot backward, but of course you can do it from both feet, right? You can do it from right foot backward, you can do it from left foot backward. So now the first thing we want to do is we want to have a driving step backward. That's stage one, and arriving of course with the pitch of weight on the heel. Now at that moment I still don't have any weight on my left foot, and I can lift my right toes from the floor without any adjustments in the upper part. The second stage is to change our weight to the left foot and start rising. And the last stage is to go forward from the toe, from the right foot forward, and lower in the end. So basically we have 3 stages in this exercise. Driving backward and arriving on the heel, changing weight and rising, and moving forward and arriving on the front leg with the lowering. We want to execute all those 3 stages very continuously, as smooth as possible with no breaks in between. So as much as we can of course practice it separately, for example, I will do stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. In the end of the day, the best heel turn we can create, or the best exercise for the weight change we can create, is when we do it all without any stop in our body line. I will demonstrate it now going with the right foot backward. And stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Now intentionally I am not putting any timing on it, because it will be different in waltz, different in foxtrot, different in quick step. So this is just exercise to combine and connect all those 3 stages, but the principle of those 3 stages and connecting them together stay no matter which dance and which timing you pick. So now I will demonstrate it facing the camera, and now please notice that my right foot going backward will go behind my right hip. So it won't go slightly there or slightly there, it has to be exactly behind the right hip. When I arrive on that leg, I change my weight. Now my right foot again will go forward and will land exactly in front of my right hip. And then I can lower nicely. So now I will do it continuously, and stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Please remember that every heel turn has a change of weight after the driving step, which means when we start with the right foot backward, we will exit with the right foot forward. In the same way, if we start with the left foot backward, we will change the weight and finish with the left foot forward. So if you start with the left, you finish with the left. If you start with the right, you finish with the right. As you know already, first we need to be on our heel, so the pitch of weight has to be on our heel or over our heel before we even start the heel turn. Now what's very important to know, that correct or proper heel turn happens on one heel. So I either turn on my right heel or I either turn on my left heel. And when I'm on the right heel, I will always turn to the left. And when I'm on the left heel, I will always turn to the right. It will never go the other way around. It's a very big mistake to try to turn on 2 heels, because your feet will never look neat and nice and very well placed if you're turning on 2 feet, simply because it's impossible to turn on 2 heels simultaneously and keep the toes together. You will have to be on one heel to do that. So let's assume now we will turn on the right heel. So the first thing you should try to do is get on that heel and now try to turn our hips, shoulders and foot the same way to the left and stop. Probably you might not see that on camera, but my right ball of the foot will be slightly hovering over the floor or almost skimming the floor. It won't be lifted up at 45-degree angle, which is very often what we see on the heel turn. But also, of course, if I put too much pressure, I just won't be able to turn. So be careful with that. It should be just skimming the floor. And the more sticky the floor is, the more we probably will have to lift the ball of the foot in order to actually turn on the heel. Especially for ladies that dance on the heels, if you try to lift your ball of the foot so high, you could very easily slip or break the heel and injure yourself very badly. So we will definitely not advise doing that. Also saying that balance over the small heel, a flare heel, is already very difficult. When you angle it, then you're on the edge only. That's even harder. So I would advise you to try to just slightly lift the ball of the foot and then turn on the heel. So now, how do we stop the heel turn when we already know how much to turn? we do it by changing the weight. So technically, and I'm not sure if I can do 360 degree, but if I'm on one leg and my pitch is placed correctly over my heel, I could be able, maybe less than 360 degree, I should be able to turn a lot, right? Now, that might not be possible in the couple because we simply have to maintain correct structure in between us, but it's possible to do solo. Now, what will stop us when we do the heel turn is the change of weight. So I should, if I'm turning on my right heel, I should turn as long as I need to, and for example, I will finish diagonal, and when I want to finish, I will change my weight. That change of weight will stop me. Of course, then I will continue with the rise and other things, but that change of weight should stop me in order to finish in the desired direction. Please remember that in the end of the day, we don't have one leg in the air during the heel turn, so we don't do it like that. That's just an exercise for me to demonstrate to you that it is balanced over one heel on one leg. In the end of the day, the other foot, very similarly as your ball of the foot on the right foot, will be skimming the floor. And that's why it looks like we are turning onto heels. So now remember, as much as the right leg now, which we're turning on, is the most important because it does all the actions, the left foot plays a very important aesthetical role. Without it, the heel turn will still not look as nice as it could be. So what happens with the other foot? Well, it simply is very neatly touching your other foot. So the feet should be always parallel. Try to avoid any of those. Please remember that the feet should touch each other very gently. We should maintain balls of the feet touching each other and heels touching each other. The left foot will be very gently skimming over the floor once we're turning on the right heel. And the same way, when I'm turning on the left heel, my right foot will be skimming the floor and looking very nicely touching the left foot. So now let's get to actual heel turn. Again, we will not put any timing on it because it can be done differently in foxtrot and different in waltz. Instead, we will try to use actions in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and blend them correctly. We will go both ways, from the right foot backward and then from the left foot backward, just to show you both. I will go with my right foot backward and end up with the pitch of weight on my heel. That will be action number 1. The moment my foot arrives, together I'm on my heel, I continue with the heel turn. That's 2. 3 will be changing the weight and rising on the left foot, and 4 will be going with the right foot forward and slightly lowering. And now from this moment I can go again backwards the left foot. So that will be action number 1, arriving on the heel. 2 will be turning on the left heel and having my right foot nicely attached to it. 3 will be changing the weight and rising, and 4 going forward from the left foot and lowering slightly. So now our job is to make it flow from the first action to the last action and then come back the same way. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and going back, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I will show it again back in the camera. I will start with my right foot backward, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and again from the left foot backward, 1, 2, 3, 4. Please remember that it's equally important to learn the heel turn for both leader and follower. We both can have it in our routines. It's not specifically lady or follower figure. We both should be able to do it. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please share it. It would help us a lot. Of course, if you have any questions or any thoughts, please put them into comment section below. Otherwise, thank you for watching and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.